Welcome to our Crypto News in 10, a daily podcast bringing you the latest news about crypto in under 10 minutes. Here's what's moving crypto on Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. Mastercard is taking stablecoins mainstream with a big settlement upgrade. Bitcoin slipped below 66,000 as traders hid out in digital dollars. The US sanctioned 4 Iranian crypto exchanges and warned even non-US players they could be penalized. Robinhood officially closed its WonderFi acquisition to scale in Canada. And in London, the FCA's crypto consultation window closes today, an important waypoint toward a full UK regime in 2027. Let's unpack it. Story 1. Mastercard just signaled how real stablecoin settlement is getting. The company says issuers and acquirers will be able to settle card transactions on-chain using regulated dollar stablecoins. Initially, USDC and Paxos's PYUSD and USDP, plus USDG, Ripple's RLUSD, and SoFi USD, alongside today's fiat rails. Crucially, that means intraday, weekend, and holiday settlement across Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, Base, Arbitrum, and the XRP ledger. Early participants include Cross River, Leadbank, CBW Bank, ARQ, and Nuvei. As Mastercard's blockchain lead Raj Damodaran put it, the next phase is real-world utility where timing and liquidity matter most. It's a plumbing story, but a big one. If stablecoins become a standard settlement asset, you shorten cutoff times, reduce counterparty risk windows, and potentially compress working capital needs for merchants and acquirers. For context, in March, Mastercard agreed to acquire BVNK, an enterprise stablecoin infrastructure provider, for up to $1.8 billion. Since then, it has stacked partnerships that make on-chain settlement feel like an always-on option, not a pilot. Today's move looks like the switch from test to production. Story 2. Prices. Bitcoin slid to an intraday low around 65,700 this morning, down roughly 6% in 24 hours and about 12% on the week. Ether briefly lost the 1900 level. Traders point to a mix of catalysts and tight risk management, but the standout data point is behavioral. The market is rotating into stablecoins. Bitcoin dominance has eased to about 58.5%, while Tether's share has climbed to multi-month highs. A classic flight to dollar liquidity, even as US equities hover near records. In plain English, crypto native cash is where people are hiding out. Keep an eye on Bitcoin's 65,000 line. Breaks below there have technicians eyeing 60,000. And yes, the broader context matters. Analysts continue to flag headline risk and a cautious tone after a run of market-moving events, but the fresh piece today is the new local low and that visible migration into stablecoins. Story 3. The US just tightened the compliance screws on Iran-linked crypto activity. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, designated Nobitex, by far Iran's largest exchange, along with Wallix, Bitpin, and Ramzinex, plus several executives. Here's the headline for compliance teams outside the US. OFAC's new FAQ 1257 says non-US institutions can face secondary sanctions risk if they keep doing significant business with these exchanges. This isn't a theoretical memo, it's immediate exposure for banks and fintechs servicing counterparties that touch these platforms. If your screening lists haven't been updated since yesterday, they're stale. Policy-wise, the action sits inside Treasury's Economic Fury campaign targeting Iran's shadow finance, a track that has emphasized digital asset flows this spring. For crypto companies, the near-term impact is stricter counterparties and more KYC friction on cross-border flows touching the region. Before we continue, here's a message from our sponsors.
Need elite developers fast? Elite Coders connects you with rigorously vetted senior engineers in 24 to 48 hours. Staff augmentation, dedicated teams, or full project delivery, we've got you covered. Visit elitecoders.co to get started today.
All right, let's get back to it. Story 4. Robinhood is officially bigger in Canada's crypto market. The company closed its roughly $250 million Canadian dollar WonderFi acquisition on June 1st, rolling up regulated brands like BitBuy and CoinSquare under the Robinhood umbrella. Management framed the deal as an entry point to deliver trusted, innovative crypto offerings to Canadians, and WonderFi confirmed the closing and delisting steps as part of the court-approved plan of arrangement. Strategically, this gives Robinhood licensed infrastructure, local market share, and product breadth in a region that's become a fast-growing North American crypto hub. If you're tracking competitive angles, Robinhood already has global derivatives and tokenization ambitions, and this plugs in regulated exchanges and customers north of the border. It also dovetails with a wider 2026 push by US platforms to diversify revenue beyond pure US spot trading. Story 5, Deadline Day in the UK. The Financial Conduct Authority's consultation on perimeter guidance for the UK's future crypto regime closes today, June 3rd. The paper clarifies which activities fall inside the upcoming rules, issuing qualifying stablecoins, operating trading platforms, dealing and arranging deals, custody, and staking, on the way to applications opening in September 2026 and the full regime going live in October 2027. The FCA says policy statements land this summer, with decentralized finance, DeFi, specific guidance and operational resilience topics still to come. Translation: the UK is locking in scope now so firms can plan licensing and capital early. Why it matters beyond London. Global groups weighing Europe, the US, Hong Kong, and the Gulf are mapping products to jurisdictions with clear, bankable rules. A crisp UK perimeter helps treasury teams, stablecoin programs, and exchange operations that want predictability on what needs authorization and when. Quick recap. Mastercard's on-chain settlement expansion is the day's structural headline, bringing weekend and holiday settlement for a slate of regulated stablecoins across 6 major networks. Markets stayed skittish. Bitcoin tagged the mid-60s as capital rotated into stablecoins. Washington tightened sanctions risk around Iran-linked exchanges, with explicit secondary exposure for non-US institutions. Robinhood closed its WonderFi deal to scale in Canada, and in the UK, the FCA's crypto consultation window closes today, paving the road to a 2027 go-live. We'll be back tomorrow with the next round of moves, and hopefully fewer red candles. Thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.